So today we are here to review Rubi, which just ended. I'm going to give it a rating from 1 to 5, and I'm going to go into details about what I liked and what I did not like. As you guys hear these comments, please feel free to write whatever you guys think below in the comment section. Share your thoughts with me, share what you liked, what you didn't like, who your favorite character was, and let's get a discussion going on. All right, guys? So let's get started. I'm gonna rate this show based on 4 factors. The first is gonna be overall production, how it looks, how it's directed. Second is going to be the acting, the cast, how they all work together. Third, I'm going to talk about the script and the writing, which is a big deal, and a lot of people sleep on this one. I'm going to talk about the rewatch factor and the cultural impact this show had. And lastly, I'm going to give my overall rating. It's going to go from 1 to 5 stars. So we'll see how Ruby did. Okay, first of all, in production, directing and just photography and all that technical stuff, Ruby looked really good. Some of the sets look amazing. You can tell they putting a lot of money into the real locations. It looked gorgeous. Some of the sets, such as like the mansion, the palace they rented over in Spain, it was just amazing. Although, can we talk about that cheap freaking Chromebook that the Queen had? I will never forget that cheap freaking Chromebook. It was just so raggedy, and she's supposed to be like the Queen of Spain. So that was so ghetto. But other than that, they had some beautiful locations. Overall, the director did a good job just setting the scenes and making it look nice. So in that, they really did amazing. It really is the standard of what these shows should be today. Televisa has been slacking compared to their competition. Telemundo novellas look absolutely gorgeous. They're very styled, they're very well done, there's a lot of ambiance, something that Televisa has been lacking, but they caught up here, so that's excellent. I'm gonna give them 4 stars out of 5. Next up, I'm going to rate acting and the cast. This is a very controversial subject from day one. A lot of people were not happy that Camila was the protagonist. They said that she didn't deserve it, that she didn't fit the role, that she wasn't the iconic like Barbara Mori was a couple of years ago. After watching the show, I have to say that she did do a good job. She did convince me after a while. It was a very different character than the previous Rubies that we saw. It was its own version. And Camila did a good job. With that being said, though, I still think that someone else would have done a better job. I still think that Maribel and Ruby should have switched, actually. I think that Camila has more of that like nice girl, like she has a very soft face, so she fits those nice girl roles really well. Whereas Kimberly, who plays Maribel, has kind of like a more strong personality. So she would have been really good at Ruby.
I ain't gonna say it no more.
Supporting cast was so. Some of them were great, some of them not so great, and there was kind of like a disalignment between like overacting, underacting. For example, Hector became a very like over the top character. He was very like cartoony. He was just like yelling and smashing and stuff, and always like overacting and like just yelling. It was wild. It was creepy. It was crazy, and it was just too much. There were other scenes where they had some really dramatic moments that could have been great that just weren't. I feel like the supporting cast wasn't well used. For example, the actress that played Sonia Alejandra in real life has a lot of personality. Univision has her hosting all the time, so they really didn't use that character and that actress to her full advantage. Whereas in other instances, they hit it really well with the actor and the character. For example, Boris, who a lot of you didn't know he was going to be so important, but that trailer wasn't fooling me. I know that he was going to be important. That's actually why I threw him in my trailer. I knew that guy was going to be important to the show. See? You only fooling me. I have freaking like over 20 years experience watching all these shows since I was a baby. Like, already know what's gonna happen. So the cast was hit or miss. Overall, though, it was pretty good. So I'm gonna give him 3 stars out of 10. The writing, which is super important, and a lot of these companies just sleep on this. They think that, oh, if I throw the biggest names and the biggest stars and all this stuff, then I'm just gonna get automatic ratings. Budget in the production was amazing, but the budget in writing was like from the dollar store. Like, they were on the budget with these writers. It was very inconsistent. Like, for example, the first week was amazing. It left a very good impression. It was fast. Ruby was very like charismatic. The characters kind of like settled in their place. And then second week, really boring for those 2 middle weeks. You could really miss those 2 middle weeks, and you will miss absolutely nothing of the show. And that's really bad considering the show only has 25 episodes. You don't want to throw away half of your show out. Also, once again, as I said before, half the dramatic moments were either cut out or just greatly muted. For example, a big draw of the show is to see the punishment that Ruby's gonna get at the end. The same with other bad girl shows like Teresa. The big draw is always to see what's gonna happen. How are they going to deal with them? What's their punishment? It's a whole spectacle of seeing how they go down. And that was missed. Like, they teased Ruby with like the limp and like the scar in her face. And seeing that ghetto IKEA table replace the dramatic fall that's been in literally every other version of this show really like was a huge letdown on the writers. Like, that was so cheap. I feel like the writers also really got fixated on this Hector character. Maybe they just couldn't write anything better. But overall, Hector was so boring as a character, and the fact that they brought him back to become the final boss was anticlimactic and boring. Like, nobody cared about him. Nobody wanted him back. His story was over, and it dragged in the ending. It was just not good. And overall, that mess of an ending, it was a circus from start to finish. From the start, it was too rushed. Then it was too incoherent. Too much stuff was going on that made no sense. It just was so badly paced. So this is one of the biggest, weakest aspects of this show. For overall writing, I would give them a 2.5 star because it was just a mess. It was just bad. There was a lot of expectation about this show, but once it started, there wasn't really a lot of buzz, and now we know why, because it was very boring in the middle. The ratings were always so it did okay. It always lived in the shadow of the 2004 version. People always are going to compare Camila with Barbara Mori. Overall, the plot, they're going to compare to it. And to be honest, the 2004 version was not that better. People hold it because of the nostalgia factor, but it really wasn't that good of a show either. So the fact that it still managed to be more iconic it talks about how bad the writing was on this show. This show is slightly rewatchable. It has its moments, but you have to fast forward through it. I would honestly cut that whole middle section out, and it would be much more enjoyable. So for rewatch factor and cultural impact, I'm gonna give it 3 out of 5 because it wasn't good, it wasn't bad, but it's just another show in Televisa's rosters that we're probably gonna forget a couple of years from now. So my overall rating for this show, it was good, but it had a lot of flaws. Overall, good cast. Camila did a good job. She did surprise everybody. Good supporting cast, but it had a very dull script. The characters were all over the place. Some scenes were just muted down. It just wasn't very exciting. All the accidents that made the previous versions very exciting were just completely omitted from this version. So all the stuff we had to look forward to kind of were left out. And overall, this telenovela is just another one of the bunch. It was good in this moment, but we're probably just not gonna really care down the road. So overall, Ruby gets 3 stars out of 10. Okay, guys, this was my quick review of Ruby, the show. Hopefully, you guys trust my expertise. If you like this video, please give it a like. I want to hear your opinions. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you like Camila? Did you think that someone else would have been a better choice? Let me know who you would have picked for Ruby in the comments. Once again, give this a like for the YouTube algorithm. Smash the like button. And you guys know all my accounts. They're Alex Bashes TV, the same on Twitter, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook. Let's keep the discussion going, guys, and watch these shows with me. All right, have a good night, y'all. We'll see you in the next show.